all of these Apple writings done. They're adding, they can move this way. This was a very overstimulating day. If you're gonna crumble it, that's your work. There was such a big difference with how teaching was with just this little projector. I don't know how teachers did it back in the day when there was no technology. It was a really good learning day. I didn't fully teach what I was supposed to, but I did cover verbs. The main focus of today was writing key details. Last week we worked on writing topic sentences. Before we went over the key details, I was telling them, what do you know about a dog? I know that a dog has 4 legs. Then I drew 4 legs on the wall with a body and a head, but nothing else. And I was like, does this look like a dog? Then they started giving me more information about dogs. And then I was like finishing the picture. Oh, okay, this is what a dog is. Like to run, it has 2 ears. It can smell things. Brainstorming it beforehand helped a lot with them actually understanding what information is, because last week or the past 2 weeks, they've been telling I love dogs or writing topic sentences again as the key details. Even my student who doesn't participate consistently gave me a sentence like birds lay eggs in their nests. I gave them time to write their own, and of course there were some students who still didn't get it. For math, I still have about 6 students who need support, but I'm giving the test on Friday anyways. I just can't continue the same lessons over and over. ETIS came to check the TV too, and it's completely fried. First grade had a release day. I worked on writing conferences from 8 to 1. Well, 1:30. I got all of these Apple writings done within that time. For 3 of them, they already started it, but they just needed to color. So I technically only got 5 done. But it's really good because one of these students was very resistant to doing work, but we got through 2 pages of it. Then the other student is my newcomer who had no English at all and still very, very, very minimal English right now. A lot of it is just saying like apples have, apples have, apples have. I also had parent helpers coming in to help me with some stuff. This is something that I'm preparing for Christmas. It's a snow globe. I'm gonna take a picture of them and then they get to decorate it. I'll laminate it and then they'll get to take it home. We had our test about base 10 blocks. We only did half of it because the test was pretty long, and there were still a handful of students who didn't know how to count base 10 blocks, so I'm probably doing another little review before finishing the test with them on Monday. We created base 10 monsters. It feels like there's not enough time in the mornings for ELA. My kids are starting to understand key details. I really need them to get the main topic though, because when they take their assessment, if they do not get the main topic, they cannot get proficient. I was working with my red stars. The rest of my students were finding key details for the passage that we read this morning, and all of them knew what to do. For main topic, what I have the kids do is circle the repeated words. Usually we write it on the side, but because this one didn't have a lot of repeated words, we had to use our brains a little bit more. I drew a picture of each sentence, and this is about how to make a car. So I drew the body first, added the wheels, added the headlights and all that. Some of them got like the main topic was to make a car or different car parts. For key details, it's always found in the text. So you have to read each sentence and ask if it tells you more about the main topic. For example, this is our graphic organizer, so I tell them key details tell me more about how to make a car. I probably shouldn't have chosen this text because I do want them to learn how to find repeated words and write them on the side. Today we had time with our art teacher who comes every 2 weeks. It's so cute because they got to create little clay monsters. They got so creative with it. This one's my favorite right here. I finished up their Unit 2 test. There were so many kids absent today, so I need to finish theirs up tomorrow. Our next unit will be adding strategies. The first one's a number line. I ended up making this so that I can print it, and I want to make it more tactile, where there'll be a string and bead here so that they can move the bead. This is how it turned out. So this bead will be wherever this first number is, and then if they're adding, they can move this way. If they're subtracting, move this way. I should have added the signs up here so it's more of a visual. I'll probably just write that with a Sharpie instead. This was a very overstimulating day. There were side conversations everywhere, but it was low enough where I couldn't hear exactly who. I could only hear that there was sound everywhere. That was driving me crazy. I had to have a conversation with them, and so many of them were standing up in their seat, putting both knees up. My projector again wasn't working this morning, so I was spending 30 minutes trying to unplug and replug it while trying to teach them at the same time. Something that's really surprising me is that a lot of them are really understanding the main topic and key details. I don't know if it's the group of students who get it or if it's the way that I'm teaching it now. Not everyone gets it because not everyone knows English and can't read yet. I just remember like last year they struggled with that, like explaining why it was and why it wasn't a key detail. I had to pull some of them during lunchtime to finish their math test. I also had to re-administer the test for 2 students because for some reason, like their test, they completely failed it, even though during class time they knew what to do. During math, I introduced number lines, gave them this slip, and I should have gotten one that had a 0 in front. I was having them follow directions like color number 2 green, put a happy face on number 10 and 19 so that they can understand where numbers are in the number line. Then I gave out numbers that were from 1 to 20 and they had to cut it. As partners, they were putting like 1, 2, 3, 4, taking turns. So it was making sure that they knew the sequence of numbers, but also that their number line was start on the left side. One of my students was driving me nuts too because in the morning she was just whining to go to the office, saying that her stomach hurt even though she was trying to avoid. Currently preparing for a pumpkin unit. I couldn't find orange paper plates, so here I am painting it. At the end of the day, we went over fall. I read them a little book about fall. We completed the fall section of our science packet. We'll get to continue this thing where I do every season and then it's like a flip book. I've been having a parent volunteer almost every day to help me with the little things. Her and another parent cut over 100 of these. And she also helped me cut these little human figures so that I can turn them into mummies and put it on the window. And I asked her to cut more for Christmas because I want to turn them into gingerbread men. One of my students made me this. It's so cute. The best teacher in the world. I've never gotten something like this from a student. We worked on singular nouns and verbs. These are the verbs that they came up with last week, but then I chose a student to act it out. So they had to pretty much command the student to do something. So Jayla sleeps. It was more verbal, so I don't think they fully got the picture of how it's supposed to be. We practiced topic sentences for one day. We practiced key details for another day. Then we practiced closing sentences and finished it off today. We wrote a whole one about fall. Math, I worked on the number line. Most of them were really good at following directions for this, and none of them ruined it either, which is the best part. But when I let them try in their book, half of my class did not know the procedure, which makes sense because it was the first day of introducing number lines. But they loved using this, and they understood the concept for this one. It's crazy to me how much work teachers need to do because I've been having parent helpers many days within the past 2 weeks. I still can't leave at contracted hours. I'm going to get my leaf and I'm going to put it under my paper. I'm going to put it under my paper. I'm not going to color it like this. I'm going to put it flat. I'm going to put it flat. We did our fall art today where they rub leaves. Surprisingly came out a lot better than expected, especially because last year I just remember so many of them messed up. Today was my last day of teaching main topic key details before their final assessment. They were spot on. Some of them had a little bit of trouble with the key details. The one that we did today is similar to the one that's on the assessment. We did another informative writing about fish this time. I was so tired all day. I only got 4 hours of sleep. I woke up in the middle of the night and just couldn't go back to sleep. I was hanging by a thread. I did not prepare for math, so I kind of winged it. I saw this video on TikTok for part per whole. It's like a part and a part make a whole, a part and a part make a whole. When you add a part to another part, a part and a part make a whole. I brought out manipulatives. I kind of just kept pushing the train. It was hard because I have a lot of students on IEPs, so distraction's a big thing, and then one has motor impairments, so just counting and breaking apart the cubes was hard. We did our life cycle for pumpkins. So I printed these. Well, I printed the outline and then I drew inside, but I saw this idea on Google. It's going to go inside of this pumpkin. When you pull out the string, it's the stages of the pumpkin life cycle. Didn't get to finish. We'll continue this maybe Monday morning. The end of the day was really hard. It wasn't that hard. I had a huge behavior problem happening. One of my students crumbled up their work thinking that they would get a new one. But for me, I'm like, if you're gonna crumble it, that's your work. The student grabbed the glue bottle and tried to squeeze it all over the table, but luckily I grabbed it in time. There was like a little bit on the table and I said, go get a napkin and clean it. And the kid was refusing to. So then when the kid's hand was near the table, I put the hand on the glue so that he would get the glue on his hand and want to wash it. It was like a redirection thing. But he washed his hands, he got a napkin and then he cleaned it himself. He still had a big tantrum because I wouldn't give him a new paper. Had to be taken outside. Just a lot of crying. My students are really good at ignoring when there's a tantrum, but they do start talking a lot. It honestly wasn't wasn't too bad though. My aide is so nice. Such a good aide. On top of it, he helps me so much with making sure that the kids are on track with things, especially when I'm working in small groups. But today, I did not pack lunch and I was so hungry because last night I didn't even eat. He parked at a 7-Eleven and asked if I wanted anything. I was like, can you get me food? And so he got me this little cheese jalapeno taquito. This is going to save me because I was so hungry.